there are the multiple aspects of learning the lithium-ion battery pack is, and why it is not only you, but lots of people are entering into the lithium-ion battery pack domain, and why it is interesting. Why, like you are planning to move ahead towards the manufacturing of the lithium-ion battery packs, or maybe even you are never, like something has happened in the LED industry. Like once the LED has come, so you must have seen that there were the very small manufacturers, small people. Maybe your neighbor has also started the LED manufacturing kind of a thing. And thereafter, this policy has matured and then it converted into a complete business. But still, there is the opportunity for every kind of a people who have a little of an interest in that, and they are doing something into the LED industry. Similar, but that was not there with the bulbs. So there were only few manufacturers in the country who were manufacturing the bulb. Everyone was not making this thing, but LED, everyone has started making, or people have uh, uh, some kind of say his opportunity. Everyone has found some kind of opportunity into the LED domain. Similar thing is lithium ion is, but at a little more expert level. So why? Because it is driven by technology. Like everyone is not everyone is not thinking of starting a lead acid battery plant. But if you have a little expertise level and some financial background, so you can start working towards the manufacturing of the lithium ion battery packs, because it is at a matured technology level first, and secondly, the demand for the lithium ion battery packs is growing huge and huge. So, and in Indian context, if I'm talking about, so as the EV industry is growing, so there is a huge demand of lithium ion battery packs is growing. But EV is not only the one domain where lithium ion battery packs are much used. Actually, it is in as the growth of the electronics is happening, because if you see towards the in the electronics domain, it is the IoT, thereafter the portable electronics, medical electronics, all these are thriving in a very high. And as the domain it will be thriving, the electronics domain will be thriving. So there is a requirement of the backup and storage, and there lithium ion is playing a very important role. So EV is one of the major segment, organized major segment, I can say, where there is a demand of the lithium ion battery packs. But other than that, also as a secondary storage device and as a backup storage as a power device for the portable electronics, that there is a huge opportunity for the lithium ion cells are. So cells and battery packs both. So that's why technology is a one major factor towards the drive of lithium-ion battery packs into the uses for the common mass. And this is actually also technology driven, so that it is easy for you to manufacture the a battery pack compared to the other like lead acid. And because here it is a process, and if you follow the process, so less pollution, almost no pollution, and the mechanized, completely mechanized process that you have, and it is easy for you to manufacture it. So as I was talking about the technology, so starting looking it from the EV perspective, the electric vehicle perspective. So normal in electric vehicles, normal in vehicles, so conventional vehicle is almost dependent on the fuel, and lots of energy that gets wasted into our into the engine and the transmission. For the transmission, we get only around 13% of the energy that is on the powertrain. But compared to that, in the battery electric vehicle, the energy that we get out of around 76% onto the powertrain. But that is another thing related to the design of vehicle. But here, what the most important thing related to the electric vehicle is that almost 30%, 30 to 40% of the efficiency of the vehicle is dependent on the battery of the vehicle. And it is also a cost is also, so around 30% cost of the vehicle is also dependent on the battery pack. So as good as the technology for the battery pack, and as much as efficient battery pack the vehicle will have, the vehicle will thrive, and it will be easy for the manufacturers to push the vehicle onto the road also. So that's why battery is a very important role into the vehicle domain. So there is a lot of impact that battery can give onto the mechanics of the vehicle, like the design of your battery pack, thereafter the portability of your battery pack, how much power that the battery pack can deliver, and what quality of cells you are using in the battery pack. So we all, once we are designing the vehicle, sorry, the battery pack, we have to always see it from the reverse side. Like we have to see it from the vehicle side, that what is the requirement of the vehicle is, means in which of the terrain the vehicle will be moving. And as for that, what would be the power requirement for the vehicle? What would be the energy requirement for the vehicle? Based on that, we come to the pack levels, like what is the pack design should be for the vehicle, and then we come to the cell level. So to make that pack, and to achieve that level of a voltage, and to achieve that level of energy and power, what should be the cell chemistry and sub chemistries should be used for the vehicle. So that's how we plan whenever we design any fresh battery pack for any of the vehicle. And in context to the lithium ion, we have a very good kind of a design cycles, I will say, because it takes less time, uh, the designing and the manufacturing of the lithium ion battery pack compared to the lead acid cells. Maintenance is also very good, and I will that how it is good to maintain, because of there is a no spilling, there is a no gravity loss, and for the battery pack. And that's how it is good maintainable, and we can even maintain the battery pack remotely. So that's what the best advantage that you have in the lithium ion cells, and you can know the status of your battery pack remotely by implementing the smart battery algorithms. And stock and warehouse and design flexibility. So in case of the lithium ions, you don't have to store such kind of a hazardous metals. Like if you are going to make a cell for these lead acid cells, maybe, so you have to store the hazardous metals. But in case of a lithium ions, you don't have to store these hazardous metals. The cells are imported as of now, and there is a plan of the government that in next 2 to 3 years, the manufacturing of the cell will also start happening in next 2 years around. The cell of the cell manufacturing will also start happening in India. But as of now, all the cells are being imported, and here the battery pack assembly and design and all these things are being done. So all other things related to the battery pack is done in India only, and the cells are imported from. So, and there is a flexibility into the design, because if you are designing the battery pack for the electric vehicles, or maybe for your storage application, so you have the individual cells, like in the and in a particular shape, like here in the video, if you can see. So like this is a cylindrical cell in my hand. Thereafter, as per your application, you could have the prismatic cells, you could have the pouch cells, and those prismatic and pouch cells could be manufactured in as per the requirement of the space where the cell has to be fit. It is not a fixed like we have in the lead acid domain. So that's how the flexibilities that we have in case of the lithium ion battery pack design. So as I have discussed you that there is just so much of thing is happening in the lithium ion battery pack. Lithium ion is so good for the electric vehicles, but still there is still some transition issues happening. As you see that there is a no that level of a growth is happening either in the EV industry, or still it is in a nascent stage, I can say, the lithium ions related to the EV. So where the transition problem is, so I would like to have answers from your side also into this, that what your view is on. So is it the cost of vehicle that is one transition problem, or is it the availability of technology? If you have onto this. What is the transition of EV? If anyone can give his view, why EV is still not picking that high level as it is expected?
Actually, that vehicles also are not that much famous as compared to petrol vehicle or diesel vehicle.
Okay,
Charging stations.
charging stations. Okay, so charging stations is related to the maybe four-wheelers, but it is not that high in the two-wheeler also.
Okay.
Like four-wheelers, like only 1.5 or say something sales, 1500, 1600 sales that happened, I think, last year with the top manufacturer. But still in two-wheeler domain also, like it is not into that huge number as compared to the petrol and diesel vehicles. So there are the multiple factors, and these factors are like the cost. If you see, the cost is a big factor into this. Like you go and you purchase any petrol, like a two-wheeler, I take an example, like an Activa, for an example. You purchase the Activa at say around how much? It was earlier 65, 60, 65. Now it is perhaps 80 lakh, 80,000 of rupees approximately. And if you are going to purchase a two-wheeler, electric two-wheeler, how does it cost to you? Have you ever researched about it?
Yeah, it ranges between 50 to 90,000. It depends on your
Exactly.
like
But
what.
if you
Yeah.
just compare the performance, we are lagging behind into EV compared to the petrol vehicles, right? As per the
Yes. Yes.
yes, though the long runtime cost is lesser in terms of the EV, but the performance related to the torque, the related to the weight, and all these things, we are lagging behind from the petrol vehicles because the petrols have a very huge specific energies compared to the batteries. So we are almost comparable to the petrol vehicles into the EV, and that cost is actually been put by the batteries. So around 30 to 40% of the cost of the vehicle is from your battery. And there is a no way that you can reduce, because if you need the battery, and there is a no way that you just reduce, you just omit the battery and can run your vehicle. So here the battery is an integrated part, and that's why it is adding the cost to the vehicle. So if there is some method that could be drawn where battery is become a separate from the vehicle, and we could have some model where the every battery could be integrated into the each of the vehicle. So then there is a possibility of a cost reduction that happens, like that thing happens in the petrol. So petrol is not owned by the Honda or say Hero or any company. Petrol is a separate is the owners is under the ownership of a separate company, and the vehicle is under the ownership of a separate company. So same thing is required in case of a battery, and that's why the policy has also been designed previous year, where you can have the only battery design business, or maybe only the battery pack making availability business, and the vehicle business is separate from it. So the work is going on in this, and that's why it has opened the opportunity for the separate battery manufacturers also. Earlier it used to be the people who were doing the vehicle business, who were having the vehicle manufacturing plants, have started their separate battery plants also. But now, as with the policy that you have the separate battery business, so it opened the opportunity for lots of people. The technology is almost available here. It is a requirement to adapt that technology, and standardizations are also happening in case of the batteries. Earlier we were not having the standards for the testing for the batteries. It is for the cells and imports of the battery packs were there, but now we have the manufacturing standards also, the AIS documentations and the ICAT standards are there. And there is a lot of work towards the technology, towards the chemistry side of the lithium ion is also going on. So like we are having around in NMC cell, we are having a specific energy around 5 to 700 watt-hour per kg. And in say LiFePO4 chemistries, the LFP chemistries, it has risen to now the say it goes up to 90 to 95 AH of capacities that the people are designing. So it is growing, but still, if you know that the capacity that from your 3.7 volt cell, like the cell which is there on this table, that's a cylindrical cell. So around of 10 kWh per kg capacity that we can draw out of this cell. But we are, as of now, we are drawing only up to 5 to 700 of watt-hour per kg capacity. So still there is a very huge gap is there, and still there is a very huge opportunity, not the gap, it is actually the opportunity that we have, that we can make comparable the lithium ion cells related comparable to the petrol also, if we work towards the chemistry side also. So there is a one thing related to the technology and the chemistries of it, and there is a requirement of us as a battery pack designer or a battery pack manufacturer. There is requirement from us also to develop some innovative model where we can remove the range anxiety problem of user, because that's what the biggest thing in the EV is. Once you just you take any petrol vehicle out of your home, you have to go somewhere and you take petrol vehicle out of your home, you don't remain bothered about that if the petrol gets dried up into my petrol tank. So you will get it filled on any of the petrol filling station. But the same thing is not there with your EV. So first, the thing is that there is a no much availability of the public charging stations. Second thing, that if it is available also in some of the regions, you don't remain have time, because that is our mindset that if I have to reach somewhere, so we don't remain have the extra spare time with us, so that we can wait at the charging station and for half an hour and get our battery charged. So that's what the problem that remains in the EV as a range anxiety problem. So as a battery pack manufacturer, we need to develop some model. We need to think model where we can lower the cost of battery at the first, and can omit the this range anxiety problem to the user. So we can develop some model in the sessions of this this internship program. I will discuss you that how we can do this thing also. So we can divide the battery packs and then we can use it. So the incremental model that we can follow into this, and that's a very good thing that is happening, and it is majorly been followed in the regions of Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, all these places. This model is being followed. And then the another thing that is happening as of now is the electrification of the public transport system. Like the highways are getting electrified, so you don't require the backup as much. You can use that electrified OHE cables, and where there is a no cabling system, then the battery pack could come into use. So that's what is happening as of now. So that's how the methods we can make the battery pack affordable for the vehicle, and we can make use of it.
Sir, how could we make a battery pack where the charging time takes less, like the user should get the battery in hardly 2 hours?
There is a complete charging profile of the lithium ion battery pack is, so it is dependent on the if you have to design some kind of a battery packs, you have to go towards the chemistry selection, that the particular chemistry should support the fast charging profiles. If
without affecting the life of the battery.
Yeah, that's what the chemistry support is there. And
Okay.
because if you will do this thing on any of the chemistry, it affects the life of the battery pack. So that's why particular chemistry is always suggested. Though in these days, what is happening as a market gimmick, any of the battery chemistry is being put to the fast charging stations, but that is hugely affecting the life of the battery pack. So that's why the chemistry is very much important in that case. So we have a
Okay, sir.
charging profile. We discuss this thing there. So as I had talked to you that the separation of the battery from the vehicle, that is a much more thing. Second thing, as a manufacturer, if you are going to make a battery pack manufacturing business, so if you reduce your cost towards the maintenance of your battery pack, so then you will be able to deliver the battery pack at a lesser cost. And this is a huge research opportunities there into this, where maintenance and diagnostic systems are integrated with your battery pack, and which can tell you in real time about the faults that is happening in your battery pack, the user behaviors and all the things. So that is a IoT enabled, that thing is. And with the help of this IoT enabled maintenance system, your battery becomes a data driven battery actually. So the smart battery and data driven battery. And you can remotely manage your battery packs, and you don't have to establish city-wise service centers also in this case. So the majority of problems you can just resolve through the remotely through the means of IoT. And if it has got failed completely, then you can bring the battery pack directly to your factory and can work over it and can give the customer to it. So lots of cost that you can save in terms of the service station setting ups and paying to people in that chain. So you just implement the technology once. You make your battery pack as a data driven battery pack, and can save the cost, and this can further translate to the reduction of the cost of the battery packs to the user. And so that's what another thing that is a very good aspect of the design for the battery packs. And related to the vehicle, so if you are into the vehicle design also, so apart from the battery, you need to look at the vehicle dynamics, the aerodynamic design, the motor controllers, all the things. So and as good as the localization of the supply chain that you will be doing, so it will be actually the good beneficial point for you, so that you will have the less dependency related to the time and the technology, and you can thrive. And charging profiles are also very much necessary for the battery packs. So as you have just asked me also, so whenever you are designing the battery pack, you need to specify that these are the charging profiles, and that is also dependent on the chemistries. So for which vehicle you are designing the battery pack, or for which vehicle you are supplying the battery pack, so as per that the chemistry selection is done. Because like if you are supplying it for a four-wheeler, so there always the fast charging will happen. So if you select a chemistry which doesn't support the fast charging, then your life of the battery pack will be decayed very fast. So then you have to select the chemistry as per that. You have to design the electronics, the BMS, or maybe if you are purchasing the BMS from any of the vendor, so you have to specify the BMS specifications as per that, so that it doesn't affect the health of your battery pack. So these things are very much important. So batteries are everywhere. Some of the domains that you can see over here, the vehicles, the medical, the energy storage, as a fuel cells. So everywhere this is. And there is the electronics is also there. There is some data which I have shared over here. This is the distribution of the requirements of the these battery as the secondary storage in the variety of the domains. So this is a huge opportunity that we have. And how we can make this thing affordable, again something more. So as you see that the cost of the cell price per kWh is going down, and there is a huge reduction in the cell price per kWh is happening. So that's what making the battery pack affordable for, because if the cell prices will drop down, if we have the more availability, good quality cells, so the cell prices will drop down. And not only the pricing factor of the cell, but again the density of the cell, the energy density of the cell is increasing. So with the same cell, we are having the more energy density. So less cell will be required for the battery pack to design. So that will reduce the cost of the battery pack. So that's the one thing, is increasing in energy density will make the battery pack affordable, and that's what is happening. And so whenever you will be designing the battery pack, you will have to be in the say latest availability of the cell, which has the higher energy densities. And again, according to the chemistries, there are the difference in the energy densities are. So as per your requirement of the battery pack design, you need to select that energy density of a cell. And the swappable batteries, swappable methods are also very much used. So EV as a personal vehicle and EV as a fleet. So that EV as a fleet is also been much into the demand as of now. So once EV is in a fleet operation, so then the swappable concept of the batteries are to be used. So because then the people then the vehicle which has been there is changing hands to hands, and no one is responsible for charging the battery pack. So that's what the swapping methods are used. So that's how, if you are implementing the battery pack for the EV fleet operation, so your battery pack should be swappable. It should have the same some particular standards that it has to follow, and that has been defined by the AIS standards also. And battery packs are divided into pieces that also gives you a good flexibility. Like some fleet goes only 6 kilometers. Some of the fleet vehicles is going to 20 kilometers. Some of the fleet vehicles is going 50 kilometers of a range. So for each of the particular range, so we have a different energy requirement from the battery pack. So as a swappable and a divisible nature of a battery pack will make first your battery pack less costlier, and it will be affordable for the fleet operation. So a separation of the battery business from the vehicle business. The fast charging is generally avoided because all the chemistries doesn't support the fast charging. And if your customer doesn't know that whether the or if you are a customer and you have a battery pack, you don't know that what is the chemistry is there inside it, whether does it support to the fast charging or not. So you should try to avoid it. And always it is suggested the overnight charging. But what happens that the fast charging, in case of a fast charging, we charge the battery pack up to 80% of the level in just half an hour or 1 hour. While we will be discussing in the course about the charging profiles, I will let you know in detail that how this charge happens. So around 80% of the capacity of the pack is got charged in that half hour to 1 hour of duration. But if that chemistry is not supported, it like if the battery pack is not supporting the charge more than 1C of a rate, and we are feeding the charge to the battery pack with more than 1C of a rate, so that's what degrades the chemistry, and your battery pack become unusable over a time period. So if we have this swappable methods and the pieces battery pack design concept, so we can develop a model where we omit the anxiety of a range, and the range extender batteries could be designed. So that's what one method that I was discussing. So these are the various things which is related to the, if you are going to start a battery pack manufacturing business. So some innovative models that you can take for the market to pitch in, and that's how you can lead ahead out of the market. Now, the lithium ions. So majorly, there are the multiple chemistries are there, like lead acid, NiCad, thereafter the nickel metal hydride, thereafter this lithium. And if you will search through the blogs and maybe the YouTube videos, if you will see, so there are the maybe 10 or 20 types of new chemistries that you will hear of. Maybe the aluminum air battery, the carbon battery, lots of. But actually every battery chemistry has a hype curve. So when there are the multiple people who are working towards the chemistry of the cells. And once the people are working towards the chemistry of cells, so definitely something new will come up, because as these chemistries are working on, so they will be storing the charge out of it. But so if something tangible comes out of it, it becomes a talk of a media. But that is actually dependent on the hype curve of the battery. So every new chemistry comes, so there is a lots of talk. It happens that it will do this, it will do that, and it will replace this thing, like maybe aluminum air will replace lithium ion or something like that, or maybe the hydrogen fuel cells will replace lithium ion. Such kind of talk keeps happening. So that is at the top of the hype, it remains. But every chemistry doesn't get commercialized. It takes time for any of the chemistry to get commercialized. You see that the lead acid are there since 18th 19th of the century, but it get commercialized after, say, around 100 years. Same thing, lithium metal is there. Lithium metal is being used for so long as a primary battery storage source, but as a secondary, the lithium is just came with this 30 years back. So these chemistries take time to get settled, and then if the chemistry gets commercialized properly and gets settled properly, only then it is used in the proper commercial application. So lithium is a one chemistry, lithium ions, so that has got settled, and there is a particular plan for it. So it is there, and it is going to there for next a good years, so that you can plan onto this. So as the technology trends I was talking about in the lithiums, you know that there are the electrodes are there. Those electrodes are the cathodes and anodes. So in case of a lithium, some year back, like 2017-18, once it is there. So the majority of the cathode are the NMC. So these are the sub chemistries. So lithium is a one chemistry that I'm talking, but actually lithium doesn't take part into the reaction. It is the ions that take part into the reaction process. And the cathodes are made up of either nickel, manganese, cobalt, or a lithium phosphate, the LFP, the phosphate material. And the electrolyte is the LP30. And now anode material used is the graphite. And this is also, as of now, it is happening in most of the people. If you ask that what is your chemistry of the battery pack, so either they will say either it is a NMC or a LFP battery pack. The research is happening, and research is happening more towards the NMC. The LFP is actually just a filler, and that is majorly from the China. No other countries and no big cell manufacturing company is doing research on LFP as of now. But NMC is one chemistry where lots of research is happening. So down the line, you will see that NMC or NCA chemistries will be establishing one. And there is also a major focus towards increasing the potential of the battery pack. So like right now, our potential of the battery pack for the NMC chemistry is around 3.7 volt. The work is going on, and it is expected to be at a 4 volt level for the NMC also. So that we can, if the potential of the individual cell will increase, so we will have the less requirement of the cells into the complete battery pack, because the potential gets added into the, in terms of the potential difference gets added in terms of the series connection to the battery pack. So NMC is a one chemistry that has a bright future, and lots of work is going on into this. And there is some work also going on towards the anode material, where silicon is trying to get into the electrode, but this is again on a hype curve. It will take almost 15 to 20 years from now to be silicon on an anode material. And once it becomes an anode, then the voltage level will go up to 5 volt. So the single cell can power your electronic circuit into this. So that's what the efforts are going on related to the establishment of the anode and the cathode materials. And that's what will be affecting the battery pack business also. So as you are planning, or maybe you are doing something into the battery pack business, so you should have this knowledge that how this chemistry will move, so that once you are making your battery packs or pitching to your clients, so you can convince him, or maybe you can talk better about it. The other areas where lithium ions are growing is the cell chemistry and the thermal management side of it. There are some global manufacturers of the lithium ion domain are like Panasonic, Samsung, Toshiba, LG. There are some Chinese manufacturers like BAC, Cattle, all these are. So these are the battery pack manufacturing companies whose cells are available and you can take it for your use. So why lithium is majorly used as it? So lithium is the lightest metal available. It is the third number. Before that, it is the hydrogen and helium. They are available in a gaseous format. So lithium is the lightest metal available, with having a theoretical capacity of 3.8 Ah per gram. And voltage is also, that's a huge, that's a 3-volt level. So we can have a good potential out of it. And once it takes a part into the reaction, so the lithium metal as a metal doesn't exist at any of the stage. Uh, whenever you charge this lithium cobalt oxide, so this lithium ion is segregated, and that travels from the one electrode to the other side of it. So that travels and that gets segregated onto the graphite side. And once discharged, so then the ion moves from the anode to the cathode side. So that's what the benefit we have, that the metal doesn't take part into the reaction. So it is a non-hazardous in nature. And secondly, that if metal doesn't take part, so there is a no degradation of the metal will happen, and the ion movements happen. So that's what the physical properties remain same of your cells. So no specific gravity loss, or there is no such kind of a watery solutions or anything that happens into the cell. So that's what the benefit with the lithium is, and that's why it is existent and been used for over a longer period. So there are the multiple cathode materials are there. Maybe we will discuss it later on. So the cobalt oxide, the nickel oxide, thereafter the NCA chemistry, LiFePO4 chemistry. So these are the multiple sub chemistries are in the lithium. So these are the cathode materials, and all of them you can see are in the range of a 3 and above, 3.0 volt and above. So that's what. And as an anode, so graphite, titanate, and silicon. So silicon is a little far, but as of now, the graphite and titanate materials are used as an anode material. So titanate has a little higher potential. So in this, that's why the potential difference of the lithium titanate cells are lesser compared to the lithium ion cells. So that was some information related to the lithium industry, what is happening. And lithium, once you make the battery pack, so you require the BMS also. And BMS is the major thing that takes care of your complete battery pack, not only from the charging or discharging purpose, but also the health, the SOC, the DOD, everything management that the BMS is done. This is one of the reference design where we are into the consultancy also. We have designed BMSs for many of EV manufacturers. So this is the reference design which our BMS has. So this is based on analog devices BMS, and we have a voltage accuracy measurement range of a 0.1 millivolt. So that's what the highest level of accuracy that the BMS can provide. So the BMS is actually having the features of like measurement of the voltage, current, temperature, thereafter the cell balancing, this is done, the passive cell balancing, and the CAN interface. Thereafter the BMS should have the feature for storage of the data locally, like if any of the incident happens with your battery pack, so it should stored locally, and then the voltage measurement capabilities, the field measurement. So all these are the things that BMS should provide. So it is not us, but actually if you are making a battery pack, so these are the features that your BMS should have. That first, it is the range of the measurement of the voltages. So also it is like 3.7 is the voltage, nominal voltage for your lithium ion cell. So up to what accuracy level the BMS can measure the cell voltages. So that's what a much more important thing is. and how do it balances the cells. So this is an embedded system that protects safety host application, and it protects the battery from abuse. It prolongs your battery life. It gives you the maintenance of your battery in a functional state, and it provides the information to the host application. So these are all the capabilities the BMS should have. And once you have this is the non-communicable BMS I'm talking over here. And if you are implementing a smart battery, so in that case, the BMS becomes a communicable one, and you have a IoT management module also into your battery pack, and BMS works in a communication with it and can give you the information about your battery pack in a real time. So the BMS functions are the sensing, the protection, the interface, and the management and the diagnostic features. So it works like this. So this is a battery pack that we have. And then this is a measurement module. So this is a BMS front end does this thing, the measurement of the voltages of the battery pack. And there are the shunt registers are there for the cell balancing. So if any of the cell is getting overcharged, so with the help of that shunt, the discharging starts happening and the cell gets balanced. The BMS does the work of the capacity estimations, the state of a charge, that how much the charge level of the battery pack is, what is the health of the battery pack, and what is at what temperature level the battery pack is working. And all this is communicated through either a CAN bus controller, if it is a local communication that is happening from the vehicle interface to the battery pack, or if it is IoT interface, so then along with the CAN bus controller, we have a IoT module also. Once you are making the battery pack, so either your battery pack will be working in a single, like for a two-wheeler application, for an example, you are working. So there will be single battery pack that you supply in your vehicle. And there maybe you are making a battery pack which is for a four-wheeler application. So then multiple such battery packs are designed to make a one complete battery pack for the four-wheeler or for a bus. So in that case, these multiple battery packs will have the separate BMS, and all of these separate BMSs should be communicable to each other to keep the cell, to keep all the battery packs balanced. So that's what is called the stackable nature of the BMS. So once you are making the battery pack, you need to consider that whether it is an individual battery pack that you are designing or it is a stackable nature of a battery pack. So according to that, the BMS selection should be there, and there are the particular methods for the daisy chaining of the BMS is. And for that specific protocol that is been now a standard is the ISO SPI standard. So CAN standard protocol that I have talked about is the vehicle communication protocol, and ISO SPI protocol standard that I'm talking. This is implemented for the daisy chaining of the BMSs. And once multiple BMSs are in a communication to make a complete battery pack, so that ISO SPI. So that's what the thing is. So we let you know in this about the ISO SPI standards also into this. And this ISO SPI is a higher implementation of the SPI protocol, only 2-wire protocol. And it is safe from the EMC and EMI interfaces also. So this is just a test bench which is of our BMS. So this is our cell monitor, and this is a test bench which I have shown to you, that this is the battery pack which have the BMS and the RF sources. So this is the RF power measurement we are doing. So that once, because once the vehicle is into the field, so there might be multiple RF sources, RF interfaces that it interact with. So if your BMS is not tolerant to the RF interfaces, it is not tolerant to the EMC and RF robustness it doesn't have. So the SOC levels of the BMS that may get changed, or the measurements or the algorithms may behave erratically, and you will have the erroneous result onto your battery pack health. So that's why the BMS, whichever you are selecting, it must be the EMC and
battery pack. We have the motor controller, we have IoT and AI control boards over here. Here the lock is also there. So the lock can be controlled remotely. We have the lights and displays and all the things. There is a brake, there is a throttle to give the acceleration. So my powertrain is powered on. So okay Google, unlock bike.
Unlocking bike.
So you have heard that the bike is getting unlocked, and you can also see my bike is unlocked. Now I need to ride it. So I just give the throttle, but you see that I am not able to ride it yet because I have not been authorized. So I am authorizing my bike to give me a ride. So okay Google, turn bike on.
Turning bike on.
Oh, so my bike is on now. Now I will ride. So you can see I am riding my bike, giving the throttles and riding my bike. I am riding and my brakes is applied. So I just stop. And what about if your bike has been stolen in midway? So you just need to stop the riding. So okay Google, turn bike. Oh, my bike is off. So if you have
That was a one. This is available on our YouTube channel also. I will post you the link. You can view it. This is some vehicles which has been designed by us. So this is the images from some of the workshops which students used to do. So the vehicle design and the battery packs and all these workshops. So these are the, and this is one of the spot welding machines. So this is automated for spot welding, and this is a manual spot welding machines. So these are the things. Okay, so this was the information related to the battery packs and all. Now I'm coming to that, what if you have to gain the structured knowledge onto the lithium ion designs. So what are these things that we are offering? So if you are going towards the design aspect of the lithium ion battery pack, so what are the things that require from you? Means what are the specific specializations and what are the specifications that you should have? So you should be knowing either your, so before that I just discussed that what are the these opportunities that you have in the lithium ion domain. So one is the research profile that you can take from the academic side I'm talking. So one, the research profile into the chemistries or into the arrangements of the cells for the battery packs towards the increasing the capacities, energies, and all the things of the battery pack. So that's a one research profile is. Secondly, that if you want to go towards an employment side in the lithium ion battery pack domain, so you should be knowing about the cell characteristics and thereafter the measurements of the various aspects of the lithium ions, the welding methods. If you are into the production line, so you should know about the various welding methods of it, and then the materials which are being required for the battery pack to make, and how do you test the final battery pack. That's what the job aspect, either into the say production line or into the quality certifications. If you are into the R&D section of the lithium ion battery pack, so then you should be knowing about the various chemistries which is available, which one chemistry is much more for which kind of applications. Thereafter, the methods of estimations for the design of battery pack, like the user, you will have a various use level conditions for the powertrain, and you have to design a particular capacity battery pack. Your company has to design a particular capacity battery pack. So that's what from the R&D team it comes, that what the capacity, what is the configurations, which type of cells, all these things have been there, and what is the type of BMS, what is the configuration of the BMS that your battery pack should have. So all these things are from the R&D and the technology team. So you should have knowledge on that. If you are going to do an entrepreneurship, maybe you want to start a lithium ion battery pack business. So then you should be knowing more towards the tools and technologies which is there. What is the inputs and outputs of your project? What could be the business model that you can have for the battery pack, and where you can sell or how you can sell. So that's what the aspect that you require. So in this program, it is online program, internship program, and we have covered the technology aspect of it, the modeling aspect of it, and the safety aspects of it, and the entrepreneurship aspect is also been covered into the content that I can show you. And this is a complete 100% practical oriented program is there, and sessions are delivered remotely. The hands-on is also delivered remote mode for the modeling and all. And we have the modeling softwares that we use to let you know about the various use conditions. And we, apart from this program, we give you a 1 year support total. So like once you have get a structured knowledge from us, and then you start working in the battery domain, so then you require some kind of a support. You get stuck somewhere. So for that, we have a 1 year throughout running support for you. And there are the practicals sessions are also into this. So there are special 6 practical sessions are conducted for the for the giving you knowledge on the various characteristics of the battery pack, like the cells has the internal resistance, the capacity measurement, the SOC measurements, the state of health measurement. So all these things are done practically with the help of the software modeling. And if you can see on the windows, there are the development boards are there. So these development boards are our in-house designed, which is for the cells and the battery pack. And we let you know that how you can do these things on the software modeling also. And as we are we have the in-house R&D, so you get the latest information from us related to the technology aspect of it and the support on the the content specifically. So starting from the cell level, we go up to the battery pack, and not only the battery pack, but the BMS and BTMS is also. So these contents planned are giving you, first we start with giving you the knowledge on the cell, the chemistries, what are the various technology terms that you use for the cells, the type of batteries which is available, and how do you select any of the chemistry for any of your applications. Thereafter, how cell is manufactured, so cell manufacturing process, and what are the specifications into the cell manufacturing process is that leads to the various quality standards of the cell, and then the characteristics of the cell. So that's what is. Thereafter, once you know about the cell, then you come to the design of the battery pack. So, but before the designing of the battery pack, it requires the knowledge on a particular type of a cell sortings, because every cell is not compatible for each kind of an application. So some cell will be useful for your EV application, some cell will be useful for your storage application, some will be for solar applications. So how do we have the cell sorting mechanisms, and how do we measure the capacities, the internal resistance, how do you select the right cell for your battery pack? So all these things are covered. And for this, the practicals are there for the capacity measurements and the internal resistance measurements of the cell, that if you have the cell in your hand, so how do you measure all these things? And then we come to the battery pack designing. So how do you do the calculations for a particular applications? How do you do the calculations? Like if you attend the master classes, you also I've given you some information over there. How do we do the calculations, the modeling for the use cases? Thereafter, for the particular battery pack, how the simulations are done related to the capacity and the health and the state of a charge. Thereafter, we also give you knowledge on the welding methods, and what are the materials that is required for your physical making of the battery packs, how do you arrange them, and what are the tools and technology that you require for your battery pack plant setup. So a complete kind of a project establishment level knowledge. And this is related to the semi-automatic plants that we deliver you the knowledge, and the battery pack assembly process and flows. Thereafter, once you have made the battery pack, so there are the safety standards are there given by the state of the government of India, and the AIS standards are there. So those things are covered, and this is covered related to the continent wise, the regional safety standards. So like the specifics related to the Asia, the specifics related to the Europe, the specifics related to the Africa. All these three zones we cover majorly into this, and there is some specifications from the USA is also covered, but these three regions are covered mainly because this region has a huge opportunity for the for us people, and lots of people are working in these domains related to the cells and the battery pack. So that's why we are covering the country specific standards also. And then the battery, what are the transportation safety standards, what is the storage safety standards, all these things are covered. And then there is some cell recycling business is also there. So what is the opportunities and what are the specifications into the secondary life application of the battery package? So that's what is being discussed. And then how do you make your battery pack a data driven battery pack? So so that's the smart battery pack. So how do we induce the microelectronics, the IoT into the battery pack so that it becomes a data driven battery pack, and how you can establish a management plan for the remote monitoring and the diagnostics of your battery pack. So that's what the smart lithium ion battery. And then how do you select the tools, technology, what are the financing opportunities the from government have, from where you can get your funding supports, from where you can get the mentoring support. So these discussions are there. And then the business opportunities, what are the different business models, that's what we discuss. And so these are the things related to the lithium ion battery pack design program and modeling program. And then it comes the BMS. So as the BMS is there, so there is a very specifications related to the BMS is. There are multiple types of BMSs, the multiple architectures of the BMSs are. So as per your cells and as per your battery pack design, what is the particular BMS architecture that you have to follow? How do you decide about it? How do you make a tests about it, the particular structure? So all these things are discussed, the cell equivalent model, the Thevenin model, and all these things. Then how do you measure the state of charge, state of health, and what are the semiconductors into the BMS front end, and how does it affect the measurements of the various parameters of the cell? And then how do we give a base level design of the BMS? So that thing is being considered. And in the thermal management, we have a majority is the modeling. So BMS is measured majorly on the hardware side, and the thermal management is on a modeling. So once you have made the battery pack, so there is a requirement to keep the battery pack cool, because the lithium ion cells are the good category of cells, which is a kind of a human, I say, because on the temperature levels where the human remain comfortable, the lithium ion cells also are comfortable on that temperature level only. If it gets heated up, so it affects the capacity of the cells. So that's why the how do we do the thermal management? So not only the materials, but what are the models that we have to apply, and how we can measure the quality and the degradation of the cell on various thermal levels. So that's what the modeling is done. So that is covered under the thermal management program. So these are the contents of the program is. And so this is delivered in an online mode to you, and the sessions are of a duration of 90 minutes to 120 minutes. And the video lecture, as a part of a delivery, apart from the live sessions, we give you the video lectures, the video lectures library that remain accessible to you throughout the life. And thereafter we provide you the notes for each of the sessions, so that you can do the more reading over it. As a software models, as a software, we use Scilab because it is as comparable to MATLAB, but because MATLAB doesn't remain accessible to everyone due to its licensing issue, so the open source Scilab we use. And the same thing that you can implement into the MATLAB also if you have the access. So and thereafter the evaluations are there and certifications are provided. So this session is structured a 4 week of lecture sessions are, and 2 week of practicals are integrated into it. So total of a 6 week session it becomes for you. And we give you a year-long support in thereafter industry interactions, certifications, masterclass sessions. And apart from this, we give you the design house interactions also. Like we are an R&D house, and we have lots of program that keeps going on with majority of the design companies. So we give you as our interns, we give you the access to these design house interactions also to you. The sessions, if you can see, it is planned like this way. So for each of the sessions, the topics are like we have the sessions on the battery pack introduction and technology. So there are the particular topics are being decided about that. Same way for battery chemistry, the separate session, the charging profile, there is a separate session here. Same way for the testing and sorting, the separate session of then again battery pack making business, then safety standards, then smart batteries, which I have discussed you, the BMS models, the SOC and SOH estimations, then BMS master front-end designs, then thermal management, then BTMS modeling. So these are the sessions are planned like this. And same way is for the hands-on sessions of 5 sessions of 1.5 hour each of discussions and hands-on sessions are there. So in the hands-on sessions, we give you the software modelings, thereafter the hardware interfaces to them, and how we can make the battery pack compatible for any of the applications. The classes are to be conducted on a thrice in a week, and for this batch, the classes are to be conducted on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it is in the evening, that is kept at 7:30 or 8 p.m. the timing that is kept for the batches. Before I and related to this, the notes I have talked about. So these are the some samples of the notes that I can show you. So for each of the sessions, these notes are provided to you so that it remains a support for you for a reading purpose. So these are the deliveries are there. Related to the hardware that you can see on the table is there. So for the training, like so this is our in-house designed development boards. You can see right now it is measuring the efficiency of this cell. And these are the various cells that we use for the modelings, hardware modelings, and for giving you the introduction to you on the various other topics, the battery packs, and this is the BMS which has been done by us. So we will conduct this BMS session. Once we will be conducting the BMS session, so we will let you know that how these things are, the modelings are done with the help of the hardware and the softwares. Like here, once, yes. Like once we are doing this charging profile, for an example, so there is a things which is in the theoretical aspect, that what are the profiles and all these things are there, but actually what it can make effect onto the cell. So related on the hardware, we will do the charging of the cells, and we will show you the plotting through the graphs and through the models, that how does it affect the life of your cell, right? Same way, once we do the internal resistance, so we will calculate the internal resistance of the different cells through the means of the handy methods and through the means of the hardware, the ready-made hardware. Same way, once we come to the battery pack design, so we give you the calculations and the modeling for the battery pack, so using the Scilab software. So this is how the hands-on sessions are planned. So on each of the theoretical sessions where there is a scope for the practical, so there is a hands-on session that we have. So like for the 2 sessions are there for the modeling of the battery pack. 1 session is there for the internal resistance. 1 session is there for the charging. Thereafter 2 sessions are there for the BMS, and the thermal management is a complete modeling program.
Okay, sir.
It is a complete modeling program. This is, yes. So that's how the 6 sessions are. So we try to cover all the aspects of the battery pack cell from the cell level to the battery pack design, and whether you are going for the R&D job or you are going for establishing your own battery plant. So this is the level of a knowledge that you require. And apart from that, if you need more information, like if you are working and you face some issues, so you can always get back to us, and we have the support system running for you.